I gotta hit him with the update. I been getting to it when I'm up late. Hit it when you went the front gate. They act like that, no. Hold up. Guess I gotta hit him with the update. Really with it, I ain't got a pump fake. Killer flow and hit him with they act like that, no. Guess I gotta hit him with the update. I been getting to it when I'm up late. Yes, sir. Hit it when you at the front gate. Act like that, no. Guess I gotta hit him with the update. Really with it, I ain't got a pump fake. Killer flow and hit him with the one take. Please tell me what's to them boys. I know they ain't talking about me. Hold up. All up in the DMs for the feature. I know they ain't talking about free. Shorty, no lie, no leap. I ain't gon' lose no sleep. You don't have in this G. What you gon' sow, you gon' reap. Bet I'm gon' kill what I eat by the end of this beat. Put a little honey in my tea. Put a little pep in your step. I bet on my soul we feast. Bet you don't go. I bet you don't know these freaks. Gotta hit that note on key. Put it on baby, on mammy, on God, on me. You not no G. I be in the spot low key. I been at the crib, probably wonder how I got your key. They act like they ain't know it. Guess I gotta hit 'em with an update. I been getting to it when I'm up late. Hit it when you went the front gate. They act like they ain't know it. Guess I gotta hit 'em with the update. Really with it, I ain't got a pump fake. Killer flow and hit 'em with the one take. Act like they ain't know it. Guess I gotta hit 'em with the update. I been getting to it when I'm up late. Hit it when you at the front gate. Act like they ain't know it. Guess I gotta hit 'em with the update. Really with it, I ain't got a pump fake. Killer flow and hit 'em with the one take. Please tell me what's to these lanes, they must be out of their mind. Must be. All up in that face tryna hit up. I know he ain't talking about mine. Putting that work on my grind. Putting that purp in my lung, I'm putting that work on her spine. Put a little drink on my tab. Long as she working that back, I ain't hurting, I'm fine. I bet I go earn it right back. Just hit up my jack, got him working my line. I stay in my lane. I ain't even tripping off yours, I'm too worried about mine. You not on no rise. Ain't having no motion, we so tired of your lies. Ain't one of your guys. Can't fit in my shoes, little buddy, them not of your size. They act like they ain't know it. Guess I gotta hit 'em with an update. I been getting to it when I'm up late. Hit it when you at the front gate. They act like they ain't know it. Guess I gotta hit 'em with the update. Really with it, I ain't got a pump fake. Killer flow and hit 'em with the one take. Act like they ain't know it. Guess I gotta hit 'em with the update. I been getting to it when I'm up late. Hit it when you at the front gate. Act like they ain't know it. Guess I gotta hit 'em with the update. Really with it, I ain't got a pump fake. Killer flow and hit 'em with the one take. Yeah, look, ayy, stay on leeching for the energy. I ain't worried, give a fuck about the enemy. Beat it, got them thinking it was 10 of me. That's why tonight I'm on the weed, not the Hennessy. Lying, but I tell you how it really be. Dropping game, I could sprinkle for infinity. I'm the player of the year if I do say. Cause I treat a Saturday like a Tuesday. Came through with the sauce for the soul food. Eat good, smoke great, that's a whole move. Whole time, half time for the smoke break. In the mission, from the mission for the long cake. Laced up, rope chain, got my tongue tied. Top down, out, let them sun dry. I'm that and I said it before I had proof. Can't believe it till they see it, that's a sad truth. Hey, I be out of town, out of time, out of blood rush. You be out of line, out of bounds, out of comeback. I be out of town, out of time, where the does at. Yeah, you be telling lies in your rhymes, where your funds at. Mailbox money in my real name. 30 years old and they still lame. Tryna kick it in the H like a field goal. Touchdown with finesse, that's a heel toe. Look, what you thought? Think better. Sundress, no drawers, got the seat wetter. Got my suede jumpsuit for the wind chill. Hot girl, but she blowing like a windmill. Truly, I ain't got a flex for the routine. Too clean with a plate full of poutine. Worrying about me can't help you. Way better when it's heard and it's felt too. Get my weed from the west, gold from the south. Show them how to make them triple O's from the couch. Counting on luck, ain't a life plan. I might have the last laugh for a lifespan. Hey, I be out of town, out of time, out of blood rush. You be out of line, out of bounds, out of comeback. I be out of town, out of time, where it does at. Yeah, you be telling lies in your rhymes, where your fun
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking, all right? So shout out to everybody who is in the building early. If you guys can hear me okay and everything sounds good, please give me a thumbs up or radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, please give me a thumbs down or angry face, and I'll try to get it together. I'm going to shout out everybody who was in the building early, and then we're going to get into this, all right? So we got Mac 25. Oh, and shout out to Mac 25, because as a result of Mac 25 and his increased trolling, what y'all might want to do is spend that one ducat on the membership, because from here on out, all it's going to take is just one of y'all to complain about him, and we're going to turn the members only chat on. And since this dude keeps making false allegations about my channel, I'm going to make a channel for him that is everything that he says this channel is, so that he's not confused in the future. And we're going to drill it and 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 drill it. So y'all got another new channel to look forward to. Hopefully I had that together by the end of the month. And then we're going to really give him something to cry about. And trust me, you going to cry. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Can't Stop Our Love. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys throw some radiation emoji in the chat for the actual people that pay me. My supporters, like Jerry Bedford, with the $10 super chat. He says, good morning. Good morning. How are you? From Anadarko, Oklahoma. I'm doing good, bro. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all show him some love. We got Lloyd Sky 9. We got Patricia Slade, B1. We got Cameron Jones in the building. We got Brooklyn Queen up in here. We got Yo-Yo 103 Queenin. What's good with it? Welcome. Shout out to Yo-Yo. She's a new sub. Make sure y'all show her some love. Throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat for her. Shout out to my man Jay Bird. We got Carlton Way in the building. My man Kale is in the house. Shout out to Christopher Perkins. Good to see you, bro. We got Deneen Grant in the building. We got Lloyd Sky 9. Shout out to you, bro. We got Win, Lose, or Rug. Nah, we ain't timing him out. We putting that members only on. We doing that auto moderation, Win, Lose, or Rug. So all y'all got to do is just let me on, let me know, and we switching that chat. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You might want to spin that ducat. You know what I'm saying? We got Crew Reality in the building. Shout out to you, bro. We got my man John Guillory in the house. All right. Yeah, and I got to agree. If you guys agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Mac 25 never talks about politics in terms of what makes the most sense for foundational Black American freemen and ADOS. He never exposes trick bags. You guys notice that? Shout out to my man Rick C. What's good with it, bro? If you ain't exposing trick bags, we side-eyeing you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now, this really going to make him cry. But you don't see him in the comment section of The Hill. Biden is bleeding support from Hispanics, Blacks, and young voters, all right? So we actually read a base article that talked about this, but we're going to look at The Hill's assessment of it. Shout out to my man Beach Material. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have not smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. Let's get it.
All right. Well, it is officially the year of the next presidential election, 2024. And at the top of that year, things aren't looking very good for Joe Biden. Black, Hispanic, and young voters are abandoning Biden, according to the Roper Center. Biden holds just 63% of Black voters, a decline from the 87% he claimed.
So Biden lost 20% of Black voters. I need you guys to let me know in the comment section every single reason that has caused black people to say screw Joe Biden. Shout out to my man Black Men Being Brutally Honest. What's good with it, Kev? Yo, if y'all not subscribed to Black Men Being Brutally Honest, make sure y'all go and check his channel out. Great content.
In 2020, Biden is trailing Donald Trump among Hispanic voters, 39% for Trump and 34% for Biden. And among voters under 35 years old, Trump leads Biden 37 to 33%. This comes as Democrats argue that President Biden is being underestimated. Kessler, co-founder of...
Now, we got to talk about this off the rip. Is Biden being underestimated? And if Biden is being underestimated, what's being underestimated about him? Here's what I think. I believe that Biden is being overestimated. I believe that his competency is overestimated. I believe that his ability to be a president is overestimated. I believe that his value is overestimated. I don't think Biden is underestimated at all. I think Biden has literally shown all that he's capable of, which is not being an effective president and falling down all over the place. That's about it. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with that, give me a thumbs down.
Of the centrist think tank Third Way said, quote, Biden faces challenges going into 2024, but I'm baffled by seemingly smart people writing his chances off.
Those smart people are just looking at the numbers, friend. Meanwhile, other polling shows that more Americans want...
I think that the reason why people are writing his quote-unquote chances off is because it didn't seem like he had a chance last year, and somehow, miraculously, out of the clear blue sky, in a miracle of mathematics, somehow he became the president. I think that that's what people are thinking. Yeah, facts. Shout out to Deneen and shout out to Kev. Deneen says they never talk about Asian support. He did that hate crime bill for them, so he should expect a bump, right? Yeah, you would think so. Facts. Kev says, first of all, black voters being gung-ho, and the first thing Biden does is to sign bills protecting other groups when blacks been fighting decades for. Yeah, facts. And black people been loyal to the Democrats for a long time in large amounts. You know what I'm saying? And I got to agree with my man, Christopher Perkins. Biden came in office knowing exactly what he was doing. Facts. He didn't sound confused at all when he was in that hot mic situation with the civil rights people. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Yo-Yo 103. She says, I said screw Joe Biden way back in the early 90s when I found out his two besties were two KKK senators, colleagues Byrd and Thurman. Facts. Super facts. Super facts.
The government to pay attention to foreign policy issues this year. 38% of Americans identified foreign policy as one of the top 5 issues that the government should tackle in 2024. According to a new poll from the Associated Press, this is more than double the percentage of Americans who listed foreign policy as their top issue.
And just so y'all know, right? We got the Trump channel coming out, right? We got the Trump channel coming out, and okay. Now, mind you, this is a troll channel, right? And this is as a result of Mac 25. So shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be hilarious. Now, I'm trying to figure out a name. I was thinking about Trumpaganda, Trump-pocalypse, or Magatron. Let me know what y'all think out of those 3. Let me know what y'all think. And y'all already know we're going to hook the channel up. It's going to be fun. Y'all going to have a good time. So, and then another thing that I wanted to let y'all know is that right before I got started with this stream, I just finished up the outro to Undocumented. You like Magatron, Kev? Bet. That's what we're going to do. We're going to call it Magatron. Oh, man. Magatron, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mac 25 going to be big mad about that. So you should have shut your trap. You should have shut your trap. You kept your trap open, and now you trapped yourself. Oh, Oh man, Megatron, that's about to be hilarious. You know what I'm saying? That's about to be hilarious, man. That's about to be great. Y'all about to have we about to have a good time over there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the undocumented outro, lit. Y'all gonna have that all the way on max in your car listening to it.
In 2023 for The Hill. Joining us now to weigh in is host of the Savvy Savs podcast and co-host at the Revolutionary Blackout Network, Sabrina Salvati. Welcome, Sabrina.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me on.
So see, Brianna Joy Gray, she really hooking her homegirl up, man. She hooking Savvy Savs up. I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it, but just peep the game, though. Just peep the game.
So are you one of these pundits who should know better, who's counting out Joe Biden's chances? How dare we all lose faith, I guess?
I guess so. I mean, for me, I'm just looking at the data. I'm looking at the numbers. I also saw a segment from MSNBC recently that showed that Joe Biden's approval rating is the lowest among presidents from the 90s and now the 2000 era going into a re-election. And we know that presidents that have had lower approval ratings did not win re-election. So I think what's really important for people to understand, if we want to look at the issue with Joe Biden losing Black voters and Hispanic voters, I believe this particular segment of the population is...
Now, here's my thing. Right? I'm going to put this out here and I'm going to see if you guys agree with me. I literally have absolutely no idea why Biden is losing Hispanic voters. I have no idea about anything over as far as that goes. I have no idea. The only thing I could think of as far as Biden losing Hispanic voters is because of the usual voting patterns of how migrants and immigrants support Democratic policy in order to get into the country, and then they make the shift to more right-leaning policies once they've gotten into the United States. Aside from that pattern that we recognize, I have no idea what's going on over there, what those people are doing or why they're doing it. My question is, do you all know? I have no idea what they're doing or why they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? No clue.
Surrounded by the issue of immigration. So one of the things that I've seen voters in Chicago and New York City, African-American voters, very vocal about the fact that migrants have come into their cities and Democrat politicians are giving them benefits that they have never given to African-Americans who actually grew up in those cities and did not come in by way of the border.
Right. So now what she's saying is she's pushing it back onto the migrant issue, right? Which for the most part is true. People are upset that the migrants are being prioritized over the legacy citizens, which would be the Black, foundational Black American, ADOS Freeman citizens of Chicago. Shout out to DeAndre. Shout out to Kirk. What's good with y'all? Right? So I get that, right? That's the gripe that the Black people have. Again, I don't know how we turn this into the whole Black and Hispanic thing, and then it goes back to, okay, well, we're just now Savvy Savs. She's talking about the Black issues with Chicago, which we already know. I don't know why that's being lumped into Latino issues. I don't know what Latino people's issues are. I have no idea what's going on with anything that had to do with any Latino issue. And I'm not going to just say, well, Latinos have the same issues as me or Latinos have the same issues as us, because I don't know what the hell y'all got going on. I only know what I got going on. I only know what we got going on. Latino people need to say whatever they got going on their own. I don't know what the hell they got going on. There's a very clear and deep dividing line there. I don't know what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? All I know is some people that had a bunch of signs in a bunch of different languages in Brighton Park, and they seem pretty upset with that. And a lot of them are first, second generation. As far as that goes, I don't know what they got going on. I don't know why people are saying, quote unquote, Black and brown issues, as if I could just walk out of my house and talk about a brown issue. I don't know what the hell a brown issue is. I don't know what a brown issue is. Now, my question to you guys is, in the comment section, there are some brown people that watch my channel, right? So no offense to you all, those would be the people who would know what the issues may be, right? So my question is to anybody who's watching, what are the brown issues, quote unquote, in Chicago? Now, I've heard Ray Lopez, right? But it seems like the quote unquote brown people of Chicago are very divided on this issue. You got Ray Lopez, right, who is against the migrant situation that's going on there, right? And then you have the one alderman guy, the guy that works for Brandon Johnson, that restricted that woman Emma Pitts from getting into the chambers during the alderman meeting, who he's clearly on the opposite side of that. So I don't know what those issues are that are on those sides of the tracks. If there's anybody that knows, let me know. But I think that we need to start making a clear-cut separation, that stop mentioning us together because we don't know what those people's issues are. And it's also not our responsibility to just talk about it, because they can talk on their own. They got their own mouths. And they can probably say whatever issues they got to say better than we can. You know what I mean? So there's that.
So that's one of the issues that I think has been a recurring issue ever since previously under Joe Biden's election, since migrants have been coming in. That's one of the big issues that I've been hearing from African-American voters, particularly in those cities. There's also this issue of the fact that you do have organizations like ADOS that also has been addressing the issue of giving African-American descendants of slavery.
So she said ADOS. Yeah. Did y'all hear that? Y'all caught that? She said ADOS. And shout out to everybody that just came in. Shout out to my man James Hudson. Shout out to Patrick Tyler. Shout out to Mike Nice. Good to see y'all. Welcome, welcome. She said ADOS.
The big issues that I've been hearing from African-American voters, particularly in those cities. There's also this issue of the fact that you do have organizations like ADOS that also has been addressing the issue of giving African-American descendants of slavery reparations in this country, which has not happened. The U.S. government has not seemed to find a way to atone for slavery for African Americans in this country, but they have given reparations to other groups. For example, they gave reparations to Japanese Americans that were a part of the Japanese internment camps, and that actually happened under Ronald Reagan. So now we're hearing African American voters that typically would vote for the Democratic Party become more vocal about the fact that they feel as though we are the last ones on the list when it comes to the agenda.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. Is she right here? Is she correct? Are we the last ones on the list when it comes to, quote unquote, the agenda? Now, when it comes to the American government, when it comes to harmful agendas, we're always the first. But now when it comes to any agenda to, create a stasis or a equilibrium with the rest of society, we're never even a part of the agenda. The only part of the agenda we are is the exploitation part, the available resource for WS to allow other people to exploit for profit. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
For the voters, for the American people, and that other groups are pushed ahead of African Americans. So we're at the bottom. When it comes to the Hispanic voters, I've heard a lot of them be vocal about the fact, again, with the immigration issue, they're complaining that it's not fair that benefits are being offered to migrants when some of them, they came into the country legally and they did it the right way. So they feel like it's just not fair that those benefits are given to migrants. But this all points back to the foreign policy issue. The reason why we have an immigration issue in this country that we have right now has to do with the U.S. government's involvement in foreign affairs in these countries. The U.S. government has implemented coups in these countries. They've overthrown leaders. They've stolen their resources. They've implemented sanctions on these countries. They've destroyed their economy. And that's why you have the influx of people coming in at the border. So I think in order to fix...
Now, at the same time, all the things that she just listed, all the things that she just listed, the United States has also done to us. The United States has done literally every single thing that she's listed, including coups. You know what I'm saying? Including overthrowing governments, including military attacks. They've literally done the exact same thing to us who are actually citizens and part of the population. They've done those things to us, and yet and still we're still here. We haven't left. So even though the United States has done these things, right? Because I agree with what she's saying. This is true. We can't take away from the fact that every single thing that the United States has done to other countries and to other people, they've literally done to us while we are here in the United States. And yet and still, we're not inconveniencing other countries by forcing ourselves into their population illegally and then expecting us to be serviced before the residents of those countries. We're not doing that.
The immigration issue in this country, we have to fix the foreign policy decisions that the U.S. government has made in those countries.
On Friday, Joe Biden and his administration went around Congress to approve emergency weapon sale to Israel that includes projectiles and related other weaponry. Many people were pointing to that Friday news drop. Those of you in the news are familiar with how these things work. Is that oftentimes?
Yeah, I gotta agree. That's facts. Shout out to Kirk Alton. She introduced her argument using ADOS pain and then switched it to use that pain to support another group and another argument. Facts. That's exactly what she did. That's exactly what she did. Notice how she didn't advocate. She didn't say, here's XYZ reason why the Democrats needs to get behind Black people and do everything in their power to make sure that we get reparations, to make sure that we get a hate crime bill. She didn't say none of that. People had their opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And they do what they do with their opportunities. That was an opportunity. She did what she did with her opportunity. Now it's part of the eternal record. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, also, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate each and every one of you all for being here. We got 52 people. We got 52 likes, I'm sorry, and we got 66 people watching. If everybody can smash that like button and get us to 80 likes, that'd be great.
Times government will put out news that they hope to get buried on a Friday to get lost in the weekend traffic. And the reason why people might find that to be unpopular is exactly what you were alluding to there, Sabi. The idea that there does seem to be these workarounds. He can go around Congress. He can do executive orders when it comes to the agenda items that he is personally invested in this case, continuing to fund Israel and its bombardment of Gaza, but not certain other policy priorities that would go to the benefit of domestic Americans, including student debt, a $15 minimum wage, and other policy priorities, the PRO Act, that we were told over the last 3 years were impossible because of Congress. What role do you think his failure to deliver substantively on some of those policy promises from 2020 is affecting the shift we're seeing in voters from 2020 to now, keeping in mind that issues like reparations and the like have been ongoing, long-time concerns?
Now, here's the thing, right? When it comes to reparations, the only people that have done anything to move reparations forward and to keep reparations alive is the grassroots ADOS, FBA, B1, Foundational Black American grassroots people. The grassroots people are the only ones that have done anything. The mainstream media has not done anything. You know what I'm saying? Brianna Joy Gray, Sabby Sabs, you know what I'm saying? None of these people have done anything. They got big platforms. They could bring, the reparations, the reparations committees on and have interview like how TD Hip Hop Media and Phil Scott did. And they failed to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or I wouldn't say maybe they failed to do that. They chose not to do that. Regardless, it didn't happen. but it did happen where people who were interested and invested in that wanted it to happen. You know what I'm saying? TD Hip Hop Media is interested and invested in that. You know what I'm saying? He made it happen. Phil Scott, interested and invested in that. Made it happen. Both of them brought on Marcel Dixon. They invested in it. Made it happen. You know what I'm saying? The grassroots are the only ones. The political system, the Democrats have failed. The Democrats have only made efforts to attempt to spread around the claim of reparations to other groups of people who have not gone through what we've gone through in this country, who have not suffered any of the damage, and who are not entitled to any of the justice that we're entitled. That's what the Democrats have done. So shout out to everybody in the grassroots for looking out for all of us who are Freeman, ADOS, Foundational Black Americans. Because if it wasn't for the grassroots, no one would be talking about reparations. The government's trying to smother it out. The only reason why Democrats would be talking about it is to give it to other groups. They try to give it to the LGBTQ. They try to give it to the AAPI, all these alphabet people. You know what I'm saying? They try to give it to the Native Indigenous people. If it wasn't for the grassroots keeping the focus on it, it wouldn't even be being talked about. And if it was talked about, it would be purposefully being talked about in a delusionary way. You know what I'm saying?
Among certain groups without seeing the shift that we're seeing now between 2020 and 2024?
I think that Joe Biden made campaign promises that he knew he was not going to fulfill. One of the promises he made, you mentioned student loan cancellation. He did promise to cancel student loan debt for students that went to HBCUs. So we saw that didn't happen as well. And at the same time, we have seen Joe Biden's administration give billions of dollars to Ukraine. Before the war with Israel and Gaza, the U.S. government was already giving Israel $3.8 billion every year. And I want to remind everyone that in Israel, they have health care for everyone. They have free college for everyone. In this country, we don't have healthcare for everyone, but our government can give $3.8 billion to another country every year. Our government can give Zelensky billions.
Now, here goes the thing. Now, if the United States government is not cooperative with providing reparations for foundational Black Americans, ADOS, and Freeman, I think that there should be disruptive votes that take place that literally freeze all of the spending until we get our money. I don't think that we should cooperate in facilitating any spending of any government money. We should use every ounce of our voting power to put everything, including lifeblood, on hold until we get our money. Look at all the money that the United States is providing this country that's a first world country that already has it good. Shout out to Alonda. What's good with Alonda? Now, let me ask you guys this question. These figures that she just listed, how many people support that amount of money being given to military aid for Ukraine or to the Middle East? If you guys support that and think that that's appropriate and okay, and that's what you want being done with your taxpayer dollar, give me a thumbs up. If you do not support it, if you think that it's a bad idea and you'd rather the money be spent on something else like reparations, then give me a thumbs down.
Certain groups without seeing the shift that we're seeing now between 2020 and 2024?
I think that Joe Biden made campaign promises that he knew he was not going to fulfill. One of the promises he made, you mentioned student loan cancellation. He did promise to cancel student loan debt for students that went to HBCUs. So we saw that didn't happen as well. And at the same time, we have seen Joe Biden's administration give billions of dollars to Ukraine.
You know what? Shout out to Alonda. I'm gonna just say this. And y'all could take it how y'all want to take it. Alonda says, Rob, not to be off topic, but I want to inform you that Ana Navarro, who is one of the hosts of The View and is Hispanic, said white kids shouldn't feel bad about slavery. Now, here's my response to that. We shouldn't feel bad for Ana Navarro that she's Hispanic. You guys agree? You guys feel me? Now, Satra says, how do we stop funding with our votes? Anything that is something that is up for a vote, that would be a infrastructure bill, or it would be a spending bill on the local, state, federal level. Anytime we're able to vote for it or vote against it, always vote against it, and as well as be vocal about showing that we don't support it. Because if you ask me, there has to be something that shows that people are serious about this. And to me, the best way to show that you're serious about this is to make it, if we don't get ours, nobody gets theirs. Sabotage, whatever you got to do. And shout out to Patrick Taylor. Patrick Taylor says the CBC can hold up votes, but they don't. And the reason why they don't is because they're under the payroll of the AIPAC. So they do what the AIPAC tells them to. How many people know what the AIPAC is? If you guys know what the AIPAC is, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Roots Tracker and shout out to Coon Harvester. What's good with y'all?
For the war with Israel and Gaza, the U.S. government was already giving Israel $3.8 billion every year. And I want to remind everyone that in Israel, they have healthcare for everyone. They have free college for everyone. In this country, we don't have healthcare for everyone.
Now, how did that get decided on? That it's just okay to spend that amount of money overseas? Where did that come from? Yeah, we're just going to spend this amount of money on the Middle East, and it's just all good. I don't think that any taxpayer is okay with that. And I think that taxpayers would like to have more control and more influence over how their money is spent. I don't think people are feeling this. But as you guys can see, the government is becoming more bold about just defying the wishes of the public. If you guys notice that this is a trend, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys are not seeing this, then give me a thumbs down. But the government is now a lot more bold about not caring what the taxpayers and voters think at all.
But our government can give $3.8 billion to another country every year. Our government can give Zelensky billions of dollars. Again, another country. Where is all this money going? So people are seeing a lot of money go out the door under Joe Biden's presidency that maybe before people weren't paying attention to foreign policy decisions, but now they are, given the economic situation of a lot of Americans in this country and all the money that is going out to other countries.
Yeah, depending on how you phrase this is actually, frankly, something that annoys many independent and conservative voters, that it seems like every other country's national security is a greater priority than domestic issues. Obviously, there's considerable disagreement over what's going on in Israel, but there is a very healthy suspicion of Biden and, frankly, of previous Republican administrations that were very concerned about goings on in the rest of the world. Plenty of Republican leadership were very supportive of funding Ukraine, even as the base absolutely revolted against the idea and finally persuaded some of Republican leaders to take up that cause. So it's interesting to see. I mean, how much do you think Trump will actually...
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my man Lloyd Sky 9. the second stream sponsor. Please make sure you guys show him some love. Throw some radiation emoji and some flames in the chat for him. Lloyd Sky 9 says, when they were calling our forebears the N-word, they were also giving our people's tax dollars to build and help found that place. Never forget. Yeah, facts. Super facts. Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, never forget about their involvement in the slave trade, and it wasn't being abolitionists.
Benefit from this dissatisfaction with Joe Biden. We actually haven't heard from Trump a lot lately on substantive questions, particularly on foreign policy questions. And it's not totally clear what he would do differently with Israel and Ukraine, even though in the past he has been a voice for restraint. For instance, with the Iraq War, I think you could certainly fault the way he actually governed on that front. Was not very committed to a restrained foreign policy. But is it the case that the voters you're describing, young people, black people, Hispanic people, are they actually going to say, Trump might be offering something closer on foreign policy to what we want? Or is it merely the case of we're done with Joe Biden and we're going to look at third parties?
Let me ask you guys this. What's you guys' take on this? Are you done with Joe Biden and looking at other parties? I think that's what the situation is. And the Democrat media, liberal media, Democrat trolls, liberal trolls, they can't take any kind of responsibility for their failures. In all of the decades that black people have been voting for Democrats, have they improved? Have they contributed to improving the black American societal experience, or have they deteriorated it? Which one have they done? And how have they done it?
It's a little bit of both. Some voters have said that they're going to support Donald Trump. Some black voters have said that they're going to support Donald Trump because of the immigration issue and also because of all the money that's going to Ukraine. I think Donald Trump, in his last interview, I think he said he would have handled that situation differently. So some of them have said they're going to support him, and some of them have said that they're going to support third-party candidates instead because they have the correct position on Israel, like someone like Cornel West or Jill Stein, for example. People are tired of these wars. The American people, especially now today, we do have more social media platforms, of course. So people are very much aware of what is happening in these countries, and they're seeing images that mainstream media is not showing us, right? So people are tired of billions of dollars going towards war. People are tired of the sanctions. People are tired of American troops being sent to these countries to die.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. We got 70 people watching and we got 61 likes. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button and get us to 80, that'd be great.
For these countries, like for what? And what do we all get out of it in the end? There's just more dead people, and you're just benefiting the military-industrial complex. We just found out recently that the U.S. and the U.K. actually blocked the possible peace deal with Ukraine and Russia. So what is this really all about? To me, this just seems like a scam. It seems like a money.
How many people knew about that the United States possibly blocked a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia? Now, I'm not surprised by that. And the reason why I'm not surprised by that is because we all know that the United States has some pretty hefty military contracts with Ukraine. So in order to get that money back, that military aid back that they spent on Ukraine, they need to continue to sell Ukraine military equipment. Now, what's going to drive the demand for military equipment? As long as they're still fighting Russia. So this is the kind of stuff that we got to deal with.
Laundering scheme, and more people are starting to call that out. More people are starting to be suspicious of how our money is spent in this country.
I think it's also worth noting that a number of people who maybe held their nose and voted for Biden over Trump in 2020 are not doing so precisely because he has been too aggressive with his immigration policy, pointing specifically to his choice to use an executive order to authorize the continuation of Trump's border wall.
And that right there is what I support the most. I agree with that 100%, Alonda. I agree with that 100%. If you guys agree with Alonda, give me a thumbs up. Alonda says, the hell with being done with Biden or even Trump. Black people should be done totally with the American political process because it was never designed to serve us at all. As a matter of fact, it was designed to regulate. It was designed to constrain us. It was designed to contain us. It was designed to harm us. It's designed to dehumanize us. It's designed to deculturize us. It's designed to devalue us. And it's designed to exploit us. I agree with that 100%.
Which of course was a kind of a symbol of all things bad about Trump back in 2020. But many liberals who support Joe Biden are silent about. Now many more left-leaning progressive-based liberal voters of Joe Biden's are saying, well, why would I hold my nose and vote for you again when you're going to further so many of Trump's policies that we objected to in the first instance? I also did want to come back to something that you said, Robbie, about there being significant disagreement about Israel. It's worth noting again that there isn't, in fact, especially when you look at Democratic voters, Biden's base voters, according to a poll at the beginning of last month, Democrats, 76% of them support a ceasefire, 57% of independents support a ceasefire, and 49% of Republicans support a ceasefire. So there is this ongoing question of why it is that Joe Biden is so far to, I don't know if you want to call it the right, but so far askew from so many of his own base voters and the electorate as a whole.
Right. I meant differences between Democrats and Republicans on the issue, as you point out.
But even then, basically half of Republicans still support a ceasefire, and those are not who Joe Biden should be prioritizing, obviously, as he's seeking to get his poll numbers up. Those are people largely who are never going to vote for them. We would never look at a Republican poll and how they feel about gun control.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys show some love, throw some flames in the chat, radiation emoji for Kirk Alton with the $4.99 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Kirk says, Democrats take the black vote and drive it off the lot. Facts. Or in your words, they give us static policies that do nothing or just depreciate over time. Facts. Which is absolutely one of the reasons why they need to start getting no support. And if they do get support, then they need to be held accountable by something as strict and tightly regulated as something that resembles a political contract, or else no support whatsoever. Because they will continue to do exactly that. The static policy is equivalent, damn near a scientific name, for trick bag policy. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, you can always test that theory of the static policies versus dynamic policies by what a policy will do on the data that's created and how it can evolve over time, or if it stays the same over time. If it stays the same over time, that is not the business. That's a trick bag. Don't deal with it. It's the same thing as a bank. If you went to a bank and the bank didn't pay any interest on your deposit, you wouldn't utilize that bank. So if the Democrats are not paying any interest on your vote, you shouldn't utilize the Democrat political bank. You want to go somewhere where you're going to get something back. Like you had said, Kirk, ROI, a return on investment, a ROV, a return on vote. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, also make sure you guys show Yo-Yo103 some love with the $5 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Please throw her some radiation emoji and flames in the chat. Definitely appreciate it.
Or abortion or any other thing, and say, well, Biden needs to be moving to the right to get that group right. We're looking at independents and Democrats who overwhelmingly support a ceasefire at the very least. I want to give you an opportunity to weigh in here before we wrap, Sabby.
I think people just have to follow the money. Joe Biden has received the most money from the Israeli lobby than any other politician going back since 1990.
Now, that lobby that she's talking about there, that's the AIPAC. If you guys are not familiar with what the AIPAC is, I would advise people to look it up and read up on it. And then also make sure you take note of all of the politicians who get campaign donations from that particular organization. Okay.
So this is where a lot of some of his decisions in reference to supporting Israel, even though the majority of voters are calling for a ceasefire, this is where a lot of this goes back to. If you follow the money, then you'll be able to see how a lot of these politicians move the way that they do and why they make the decisions that they make. So the short story is that Joe Biden sold out a long time ago. He was never really going to advocate for American people in this country first. He was already bought and paid for, and you can see that if you look at his funding under Open Secrets.
So there you go. And I agree 100%. Now, this is what people are doing when Biden comes on the scene. All right. This is what people are doing when Biden comes on the scene. This is how bad it is for your boy Joe. Biden receives rude welcome while visiting swing state. They told him to go home. Get your ass out of here. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Now, here go my question for y'all. What state do you guys think that this occurred in? Yeah, and I agree with that. Shout out to Yo-Yo. She's on top of it. Pennsylvania. Deneen, Pennsylvania. Facts. Shout out to y'all. Alonda says Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Claude Anderson both said the only way that we can join and participate the political process is if we secure ourselves economically like them folks and the AAPIs do. I think, and I honestly think that we shouldn't just join and participate. I think that we should aim to completely take it over and control it, because why not? Other people just took it over, because why not? We're more than capable of taking it over. I don't think that we deserve any, I don't think that we deserve or that we owe anybody any civility at all. There's literally no one that deserves us not bringing the hammer down on them. Let me ask you guys a question. Who does not deserve to have the hammer brought down on them from us? Name me one worthy person, group of people. If there's no worthy groups of people that shouldn't have the hammer brought down on them collectively, then if you ask me, participation sounds nice. And if we don't hit the bullseye, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Toya. Toya said black women. Well, you know, I consider black women black people. You know what I'm saying? So when I say that, I'm talking about all of us. But I don't think that we deserve anybody to give anybody any civility. Toya said, "Don't mind me. I was kidding. Yeah, you safe, Toya. This ain't this ain't this ain't that sector of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? you safe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Allentown, PA, I think is where it was. And if I'm not mistaken, Allentown, PA is like in the middle. No, absolutely not, Tiff. I don't think we get any civility from them. And as a result of not getting civility from them, I don't believe that we need to reciprocate with any civility. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Kale. You guys see what Kale said? Kale said, I see quite a few black faces on that AI PAC page. Now, let me ask you something, Kale. While you got that page pulled up, you see anybody from the Congressional Black Caucus on there? If you see anybody from the Congressional Black Caucus on there, drop them in the chat. Shout out to Satra. She says, great job, Rob. I appreciate you. Do we have local chapters that we can join and strategize to block vote our candidates in office on the local, state, and federal levels? That's a great question. I would assume that there are. I'm not sure. But what I can do is I can start looking as part of my research. And as I find them, I will talk about them. And if I can reach out to anybody who would be willing to, come on to a live stream and, give people information about the branches that they're running and invite people to come and try to organize, I'll be more than happy to do that. If that's something that you guys would be interested in. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mastermind Hour. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Mark H. What's good with you? So now here it says President Biden received a rude welcome from swing state voters who mercilessly heckled him during a Friday trip in Pennsylvania. Well, I think it's fair to say that President Biden has mercilessly heckled black people since he got elected, after going around saying, oh, black people have always had my back and I'll be sure to have theirs. He didn't have our back. He gave us his backside to kiss. You know what I'm saying? Which is why, right? Now in 2024, we're going to return that with a boot to your backside when it comes to the vote. Blame that on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So now it says the 81-year-old commander-in-chief was met with shouts of "Go home, Joe, and you're a loser" by residents of an Allentown area house as he walked into a bicycle store, according to a pool report. He just doesn't learn. You know, last time he was on a bicycle, he damn near cracked his head open. I don't know what he was going into a bicycle store for. I hope it was not to shop for a bicycle to ride. Hours later, protesters opposed to Biden's support for the Israeli offensive against Hamas terrorists in the Gaza Strip vowed that he'd pay the price at the ballot box in November. You know, they claim that in the most recent election, the 2020 election, that Joe Biden, they claim that he got a record-setting amount of votes. I wouldn't be surprised if this year, if things continue to go how they're going for him, that he would get a record-setting amount of absenteeism. People gonna really sit this out. You know what I mean? So now here it says, we will remember in November, the group chanted near a firefighter training center, adding, "No vote for Genocide Joe." Damn, they calling him Genocide Joe. Somebody had mentioned that in the comment section yesterday. Who was that? Somebody had said something about Joe Biden had evolved from some different kind of Pokemon, and now he the Genocide Joe Pokemon. I thought they was just joking. I didn't know that they was actually calling him Genocide Joe. Oh, man, that's bad. You know what I'm saying? The president made the trip without delivering prepared remarks ahead of a weekend getaway at Camp David in Maryland. While he was away, fencing contractors were spotted near the White House preparing for a large anti-Israel protest on Saturday after a massive group of activists shoved on the executive mansion's gates in November and vandalized them with red handprints and anti-Biden graffiti. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Has there ever been this much of a resistant sentiment against the president? I know there was a lot of people that didn't like Trump. There was a lot of people that didn't like Obama, a lot of people that didn't like Bush and Clinton, but I don't remember it being like this with them. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember that at all. Shout out to my man Win Loser Rug. Make sure you guys show Win Loser Rug some love with the $9.99 super chat. Throw some radiation emoji and some flames in the chat for him. He says, Rob doing the work and speaking on the things we really need to be focused on. Why don't black conservatives ever make these points? Why are our leaders not talking about these concerns? Bro, you already know. As long as I got a microphone, as long as I got a computer, as long as I got functional internet, we're going to be talking about this stuff. We're going to be drilling it in. You know what I'm saying? And also, as far as the black conservatives thing goes, we're going to be on that new channel that Mac 25 asked me to make, where we're going to be talking about Trump. Remember, we're going to be talking about Trump, but we're going to be talking about Trump from our perspective. So it's not going to be no Trump coon channel. We're going to be specifically talking about Trump and how he's affecting what's going on with us. But it's going to be a good time, though. It's going to be a good time. You know what I'm saying? But everybody can thank Mac 25 for that. So every time you guys see Mac 25, tell him thanks for the new Trump channel. He'll go crazy. You know what I'm saying? He'll go crazy. So now here it says Biden did speak briefly with reporters about his decision to order airstrikes Thursday on the Iran-allied Houthi-led government of Yemen in retaliation for attacks on Red Sea commercial shipping. But the president also added a crack at the press's expense while visiting a shoe store. Would you give them running shoes so they can take off? Joked the president, who had taken heat from journalists for giving relatively few interviews and press conferences. I don't think that's because I don't think Joe Biden's feeble mind can handle interviews and press conferences. I don't think his brain can handle him. What do you guys think? If you guys think that Joe Biden's brain can handle interviews, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think so, then give me a thumbs down. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my man AB Promotions for the double ducats. You know what I'm saying? My man says, I just left a message on your troll post. Okay, bet. I'll definitely check it out, bro. I will definitely check it out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I shout out to Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo says we have no black leaders, unfortunately. I think that we need to start developing viable leaders, cultivating viable leaders. And also, I think one thing that people should make peace with and understand: many people are not leaders. Many people are not meant to be leaders, and many people don't want to be leaders. But there are some people that are great team players, and people that are team players should be allowed to be a team player and exploit their expertise for the cause and support a leader. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those type of people. I'm not a leader. I don't have a desire to be a leader. I'm an individual. I got flaws. You know what I'm saying? I'm a solo person. I'm not a solo person that can't work well with others. I can work well with others, but I know myself and I know my capabilities, and I would not be a good leader. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a good leader. and I understand that about myself. And I wouldn't try to portray myself as that, you know what I'm saying, to appease my ego. You know what I mean? What I am good at, I try to exploit to help as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? And I think that there's a lot of people like me, and I think that those people should continue to do that. Or if they don't do it, be brave and go ahead. Be brave and go ahead and do it. And I gotta agree with Greets. You know what I'm saying? Greet says black people don't need a leader. Where's Asian leaders? They got them. They got them. I think the most important thing, though, I do agree with you, Greets. I think organization is the most important thing. And I think that people who can maintain the organization, or people who can maintain effective organization, those are the people that get the title of being a leader. They might not necessarily lead anything, but if they can maintain and stabilize organization, people will look at them like a leader. You know what I mean? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, also shout out to Satra. Make sure you guys show her some love with the $5 super chat. She says, are we 40 plus million Freemen protesting, voting the Dems only, or Dems and Republican? Which third party candidate should get our 40 million plus protest votes? That's a great question. What do you guys think about that question? Who do you all think should get the vote? Who do you guys think should not get the vote? How do you think people should protest? What I think is that on a federal level, it might be easier to make the protest visible. But I think on a local level, people should research the candidates and vote for the candidates locally who will provide the largest potential increase in your local power that you're able to get. That would be, without knowing everybody that's out there, that would be my best assessment of a strategy. You know what I'm saying? Cameron said, let's write in Chuck D, Public Enemy. Now, Charlemagne says that he's learned his lesson about supporting Kamala Harris, which he's lying. He has not. Charlemagne says that he's not endorsing Joe Biden in 2024. That's a lie. Charlemagne the God and the Breakfast Club are in full support of Joe Biden and the Democrats. they are not supporting Joe Biden and the Democrats. Now, I want you guys to pay attention because Charlemagne is on this tour. He's on this campaign and he's going around telling everybody, we stopped supporting the Democrats. We don't support the Democrats. I'm not supporting the Democrats. I regret supporting Joe Biden. I appreciate you, Yo-Yo. Make sure y'all show Yo-Yo some love. Pay very close attention to what Charlemagne is saying. Charlemagne is trying to sympathize with people. He's trying to relate to you. He's trying to make an emotional connection. He's trying to say, hey, I share your disappointment. And I'm just as disappointed as you. But I'm not going to do anything else except for vote for Joe Biden because anything else is a death wish. That's the kind of game that Charlemagne is playing, which means that he's still absolutely 110% in support of the Democrats, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden. He's trying to make a sympathy wager with you, and I would advise people to not fall for it, okay? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my man Cameron for rejoining the membership. I would encourage everybody to join the membership. It's only one ducat. It's only 99 cents. You know what I'm saying? It's cheaper than a super chat. Make sure you guys show Cameron some love. He's the 8th stream sponsor. I definitely appreciate it. You guys know everything gets reinvested back into the channel, and it helps me to continue to create more and higher quality content for you guys. So let's get it. Let's see what they're talking about over here.
Key voter groups are souring on the Biden White House, but the administration, instead of selling their own accomplishments, is heading into 2024 with its sights set on one campaign strategy. This is Talk More About Trump.
So as you guys can see, they immediately identified the issue. Talk more about Trump. Yeah, we're going to get this out of the way. Biden sucks. But we're going to try to scare you with Trump. Or what we're going to do is we're going to try to scare you. If Biden doesn't get in office, you just sunk. No. If the racial wealth gap doesn't get addressed, there might be issues. The racial wealth gap not getting addressed is a bigger issue than Trump getting in office. Biden said this on his own. This came out of Biden's mouth. If we don't get the racial wealth gap together, it's going to be trouble. You guys remember when Biden said that? If you guys remember when Biden said that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't remember when Biden said that, give me a thumbs down. Now, Biden said that. Question. Since he's been resting his head on the desk in the White House, what has Biden done to affect the racial wealth gap? I'm going to tell you why Joe Biden is leading with his unemployment or with his employment rates. For one, those employment numbers are doctored. For two, he can't lead with a racial wealth gap closure because the racial wealth gap increased like crazy after C-19. If Biden wants to petition to black people and get black votes, he should be leading with his plan to address the racial wealth gap and how his presidency has been effective at fixing the racial wealth gap. But there's been no politician that's gotten behind the podium or behind the microphone that has ever addressed in quantitative terms what they've done to improve the racial wealth gap, the black-white wealth gap, for black people when measured against mean and average white wealth in the United States. None of them have ever done that. That right there is a piece of data that none of these polls will calculate, which is one of the reasons why I keep saying it's important that we calculate our own data. Because if we don't have that data, nobody's thinking about that data, Joe Biden doesn't have to bring it up, and then it's just something that slips through the cracks. Don't let it slip through the cracks. You know what I'm saying?
James Freeman, assistant editor for the Wall Street Journal and Fox News contributor. This is a quote from a CNN report that some of the younger aides on Biden's reelection campaign have been grimly joking about when to go full Hitler. when the leading Republican candidate's speeches and actions go so far that the Biden team goes all the way to a direct comparison to the Nazi leader. Haven't they already done that?
Yeah,
I
and
mean-
so their friends on MSNBC have gone even further.
Yeah.
Claire McCaskill, former Democratic senator, saying that Trump is more dangerous than Hitler. I mean, just absurd, obscene, really, these kind of comparisons. But this is, every signal from the White House is this is what we're going to get. This is going to be a nasty, negative, ugly campaign presenting Mr. Biden's opponent as an enemy of this country. And it's going to be poisonous and hard to watch. And obviously, you've seen the polling. People have had enough of it and had enough of the president. And I think that's why he's going with this strategy.
Rest up when you can, James.
Yeah, I got to agree. Shout out to Robb from Denver. Robb from Denver says open borders is going to expand the wealth gap as well and as intended. I agree 100%. If you guys agree with Robb from Denver, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with Robb from Denver, give me a thumbs down. And if you guys are interested in quote unquote content about the border, if you guys are not subscribed to Undocumented, please take a moment and subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to it on Twitter and subscribe to it on YouTube. If the moderators could put the Twitter link for Undocumented and the YouTube link for Undocumented in the chat, that would be great.
Yes.
Charlamagne God made some major headlines 4 years ago. And now he's saying this about VP Harris. I've learned my lesson from doing that. Once they got in the White House, kind of disappeared. When I give people my word like, yo.
Now, again, right? You guys saw the live stream that we did about Charlamagne yesterday. And in that live stream that we did about Charlamagne yesterday, there was a news report. And in that news report, it was stated that Charlamagne has a quote unquote correspondence with the White House. Now, if Charlamagne quote unquote has a correspondence with the Biden White House, that means that they still have some form of a relationship. That means that they're still friendly. That means that they're still cordial. Charlamagne the God has not just walked away from Biden and the Democrats. He's playing a part, and he's playing the part of a disgruntled Democrat that has no other option than to just vote for Joe Biden. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to appeal to you that we're all in the same situation like the one that he's acting out. And that's just not true. It's just not true. We're not in that situation. Charlamagne is not a political analyst. He's a DJ with questionable motives. I'm not a political analyst. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at my content has been very accurate as far as dealing with political situations. Charlamagne does not have an accurate record as far as his advice on politics. Because somebody made a good point yesterday. They said you don't have to be a political analyst or have a degree in political science, you know, to talk about politics. And that's true. That's facts. That's fair. That's definitely a fair comment to make, right? But also, consistency and accuracy should weigh heavily on how serious you take somebody. Has Charlamagne been consistent and accurate is my question. If he has, give me a thumbs up. If he has not, then give me a thumbs down. And shout out to Carlton. And shout out to DeAndre. Make sure you guys hit those links that Carlton and DeAndre just put in.
Oh, man, I think we should be supporting Kamala Harris for vice president because she's going to hold it down. When we say those things and people don't see her holding it down, that causes issues. I take your pick. It could be the border. Could be immigration, could be root causes.
Voting rights. I mean, I think that's what he's talking about too.
Now, again, when it comes to this border issue, remember, Kamala Harris is allegedly, supposedly, the border czar. Allegedly, when it comes to addressing the issues at the southern border, What has Kamala Harris done? Has she signed any policy? Has she even had a press conference? Has she offered any solution? What has Kamala Harris done in regards to the migrant crises in all of these cities, or even addressing the issues at the southern border? What has she done? What has she said? What's her opinion? What's her take? What's her suggestion? Does she even have one? Where has she been? Shout out to OG Patrice.
Inflation, which has really hit real incomes everywhere. So I think sometimes I think celebrity endorsements can get overrated, but I think what's really interesting about his comments is he's talking about feedback he's getting from his audience. And it's obvious that a lot of people are, from what he's telling us, a lot of people are saying, why did you endorse them? And I think that tells you there are a lot of, his audience skews younger. So a lot of younger voters, we've seen that in the Fox poll, we've seen that in other places, are really soured on the president.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, the USA Today.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. I want you guys to pay very close attention to this. Right-wing media cares what Charlemagne thinks, and left-wing media cares what Charlemagne thinks. I want to ask you guys this question. Why are these people so concerned with what Charlemagne thinks? Are these people aware that there's other people that have a lot of influence that people listen to that are not Charlemagne? Isn't that interesting? The left-wing media and the right-wing. I mean, they act like Charlemagne is the single solitary voice of Black America. Where Charlemagne goes Black people. Is that true? But look at how both sides of the media are propping this guy up like he's the unofficial president of Black people. Shout out to Be Easy. What's good with it, bro? Charlemagne has a large corporate and political machine behind him that gets their money from the same printing press as where the Congressional Black Caucus gets theirs from. And and Fox and the left-wing media also get a sizable amount of money from that same printing press. And Fox and the right, or Fox and the left, are talking about Charlemagne to falsely inflate his value, to attempt to dupe more people into believing that he has an influence that he doesn't have. Literally nobody is going to Charlemagne saying, hey, what should I do politically? Let me ask you guys this. How many people are going to Charlemagne or calling into the Breakfast Club to say, hey, Charlemagne, what should I do politically? Going to Charlemagne for political advice is almost like going to DJ Envy for real estate advice. How many people would go to DJ Envy and his buddy Cesar Pena for real estate advice? You'd have better luck buying real estate from a roach than you would from DJ Envy or Cesar Pena. No, I'm not the only one that said that. I'm making those statements based off of all of the complaints that have been made and all of the litigation that's been filed. You know what I'm saying?
Day poll showed that Biden's support amongst Blacks and Hispanics are way down. Right now, 63% support. In 2020, it was 87% support amongst Black voters. Hispanic voters, 65% in 2020. Today, 34%. Karl Rove showed us yesterday just the margins that President Trump or whoever the Republican nominee will be would need from Blacks, Hispanics, and younger people in Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, all of those swing states that Bill is going to be watching and telling everybody about on election night. You only need a little bit. And if you're at the White House right now, you have to look at something. How do you turn it around? Because it's not like it was Greg Gutfeld saying that about Kamala Harris. It was Charlemagne the God.
Yeah.
And no one's going to be calling him a sexist or a racist.
And wouldn't it be
So I want you guys to see the narrative that they're trying to run here. Charlemagne the God is able to say whatever he wants to because oppressed white men aren't allowed to give their opinions on people, which is absolutely not true, because how the hell are oppressed white men not able to give their opinions on everybody when they own all the media companies? They own all of the microphones. They own all of the electricity companies that pump the power into the microphones. Sorry, I don't feel your plight. All you got to do is be a white person and be publicly as racist as you possibly can, and you'll be looked at like a god. You guys remember when Joe Rogan just decided to go full moron and just blurt the N-word out all over the place? And Rumble said, hey, good job, Joe. We'll offer you $100 million if Spotify don't keep you. We all know what time it is. The reason why most people call a lot of white people racist is because when they're describing people who aren't white, they just don't have the self-control or the impulse control to not do it in an objective, data-driven way. They have to always bring race, ethnicity, or something into it. They can't just do it straight up. And because they can't just do it straight up, they get hit with the racist title. It is what it is. Getting hit with the racist title is a small price to pay for all of the benefits of practicing racism for 5, 6, 7, 800, 1,200 years has provided for them. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Satra. She said, did P. Diddy start Vote or Die and the Black Party in 2009? Then by September 2020, Diddy flipped and begged blacks to vote for Biden because Trump is the boogeyman. That's exactly what I had actually mentioned that. Now, I'm not exactly sure of those years. I think that you're absolutely right on with the years. Shout out to TD Hip Hop Media. TD actually covered that in detail, and he's got the videos up on his channel. But that absolutely happened. And I made the assumption that that's what Charlemagne is doing right now. He's doing all of this disgruntled Democrat talk, and then he's going to make a sharp turn and then say, well, we don't have no choice. I know it's bad. I know it's bad, but we got to vote for Biden. See, he's going to do it better this time. He's going to do it better this time. We all know that he's not. But we also know that that's what the move is going to be. In facts, shout out to Win, Lose, or Rug. That's exactly what they say all the time. What about Chicago? What about Kentucky? You know what I'm saying?
nice if the president's response was, okay, here's what I'm doing, and here's my agenda, and here's why life is going to be better, and here's why inflation is really going to die this year.
Hey, this dude right here, he has one of those Robert Kennedy voices. Carla might get mad at me for saying that, and I apologize because I don't want Carla to be upset, but I had to. That right there is one of the reasons why I'm not a good leader, because of shit like that. But yeah, if you guys agree that this dude has the Robert Kennedy voice, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down. He definitely got the Robert Kennedy voice. One of these days, I'm gonna do a whole. Carla really gonna be mad at me that day. She might unsubscribe and unmember, but I might do the. I might do a whole stream in the Robert Kennedy voice. Let me stop, because see, I'm about to start. I'm about to start. That's gonna sound like I'm being extremely evil, and I need to not be like that. Maybe I do need to be like that. I just need to be me. But I'm gonna try not to, for the sake of my subscribers. You know, there's a lot of stuff I do for the sake of my subscribers, because I rock with y'all, because y'all rock with me, and I appreciate it.
and something positive. Instead, what we're seeing, and they're kind of telegraphing this for the first few Biden speeches, is it's going to be basically accusing Republicans of being white supremacists. This is some of the really disgraceful rhetoric of his president.
It's not disgraceful to call a white supremacist a white supremacist. Nobody gives a shit. I think it's hilarious how triggered these people get about being called a white supremacist. These clowns go around and call anybody a black supremacist. They call him Martin Luther King woke. They call Martin Luther King a socialist. Man, I don't give a shit how you feel about getting called a white supremacist. Just don't be one then, and you won't get called that. There's mad white people on the planet. I guarantee you that a majority of white people have not been called a white supremacist, which means that if you have been called a white supremacist, more than likely you earned it. They want to brag about it. They want to brag about being white supremacist. They want to make fun of other groups of people. They want to sit there and talk shit, make up pseudo history and pseudo facts, alternative facts. And then when they get called on it, you want to cry about this shit? No one cares. And no one's going to stop calling you that because you don't want to hear it. The same way you don't want to hear being called a white supremacist, we don't want to deal with white supremacists. Now, this is an easy fix to this situation. Stop being a white supremacist. You won't get called a white supremacist. But see, these people believe that they should be able to practice white supremacy and then still have the privilege of not being addressed. That's not how that shit works.
And say that he looks to reprise here, where suggesting that voting laws are a sort of a new Jim Crow. You know, I think that's kind of what they're foreshadowing for this.
Biden's going to talk about the U.S. Capitol attack in Philadelphia. That's later in the week, and Kamala Harris is going to go on a national tour in Wisconsin to talk about abortion rights. Just real quickly on this. When Biden got back to the White House last night, he said, we got to do something on the border. They ought to give me the money I need to protect the border. I don't know about this money part, but that first phrase, we got to do something. Is something changing?
Nothing is changing. Nothing is changing. We just talked about this on the last stream on Undocumented. I knew Carla was gonna get me. Carla said, I think this guy needs to take more public speaking classes. He doesn't sound like Robert Kennedy Jr. Okay, all right. He might need to take some classes. He might definitely need to take some classes. I ain't gonna argue with you there, Carla. He probably do need to take some classes. Probably for more than just you know what I'm saying? Probably for more than just the public speaking too. Probably a couple things he could learn about.
You wonder, could there be a better moment for him? Obviously, the polling says people are fed up. This is a problem. He's in the Fox poll. I think he's even worse on this than on the economy. He's got an opportunity here. He's not worried anymore about challenges from his left in the presidential nominating contest. He's basically keeping his opponents off the ballot in Florida and North Carolina. So he really is in general election mode now. And why not do a deal with Republicans? Big enforcement, more legal pathways. If he was really smart, he would say, we'll build the wall that Trump wanted. In return, you give me all these policy changes. I'll bet he'd get a lot of them.
It'd be a major shift.
And also just leave the razor wire up. I don't understand. Take the win.
Take the win.
Thank you, James.
Thanks.
Happy New Year to
you. You too. Appreciate it.
All right, so there's that. All right. So again, what I'm trying to figure out is why are these people just so obsessed with Charlemagne? Why do they care so much about Charlemagne? There's a reason why they care seemingly more about Charlemagne than we do. I want to show you guys this. We're going to talk about this tomorrow. Politico did an entire interview with Charlemagne. They did an entire interview with how he feels about Joe Biden. Who cares? The mainstream media is more concerned with what Charlemagne the God said about Biden and where he plans to try to drive support than he cares about anybody else. And I do agree with that, Ricky. If you guys agree with Ricky, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. They want to try to get that youth vote. They want to try to get that youth vote. So we're going to talk about Charlemagne tomorrow, and we're also going to talk about this tomorrow. All right, so make sure you guys got your notifications hit. I want you guys to look at this. This is a poll from Gallup. We're going to read through this, but I want you guys to see what it says. You guys see this? Biden and Trump are evenly matched in U.S. favorable ratings. I highly doubt that. I really want to see the insides of this poll and see exactly what kind of numbers they're talking about here. Because I haven't seen one poll that has Biden and Trump evenly matched. And this is a Gallup poll. So we're going to see exactly what's going on there. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't hit that like button yet, please make sure you guys take a moment, hit that like button. I want to shout out all of the stream sponsors. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Jerry Bedford. Shout out to Lloyd Scott 9. Shout out to Kirk Alton. Shout out to Yo-Yo 103. Shout out to Satra. Shout out to Win Loser Rug. Shout out to AB Promotions. And shout out to Satra Doubling Down. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Shout out to the people that contributed to the live stream. Shout out to the members. Again, make sure that you guys have the notifications hit. If you're not getting notifications, make sure that you guys hit that Discord link that is pinned in the comment section. Also, make sure you guys follow me on my other social media and follow my other channels. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the light. Yeah, I'm really talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up, look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour. Got demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city. That's on my knee. That's on Kiwi. That's on mamas. Niggas don't believe me. Come and see me. I been dodging all that face. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Flexing for what feature? That's like every other week. Talk behind my back. I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey.